Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
What's your name?
Can I give my real name?
No, I want give me a fake name. I'm gonna give you.
Oh,
I'm just gonna give you a fake name. I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna call you Annie.
who do
Um,
Amy? Come on, bro. I don't sound like an Amy.
all right. You know what? You get the fake name you get, and you don't get upset, Amy. How
I
old are you,
respect.
Amy?
I'm 23.
Well, what's going on, Amy? How can I get you today? What's happening?
Man, honestly, that's such a loaded question with everything that's gone on in like the past year and a half of my life. But basically, long story short, right before my senior year of college started, one of my best friends was like murdered the first week of school. And
Jesus.
it was
Okay.
just the craziest, like, just most mind warping time, honestly, in my life. And thinking back on it now, I'm just like, I can't even believe it's been that long. And it's like, just the way that I've had to accept, like, that I'll never get closure on some things has been just way too much for me to handle, you know?
What sorts of things are you trying to accept that you'll never get closure on?
Basically, just with everything that happened to her, it was like a lot of blurred lines and just like things that don't add up from like the person that murdered her. And like he never technically got charged with a murder just because of the way laws work in my state. So it's just like, although he is behind bars for what he did, it's still no one was responsible with her life. And I'll never really know like what really like in a way killed her, or like what really happened with it, you know?
Can I ask you what happened? Do you want to talk about what happened?
Yeah, I can kind of go into it. So basically, there's this huge thing in my school that I went to in college. I went just background. I went to a Big Ten college, really big school, big party school. It's really known for that, and it's really like great college in general. But it definitely has a culture around drinking and partying, and Greek life is like the biggest thing ever. So it definitely prompts a lot of crazy shit to happen there. But this was like way more than I ever could understand. But there's this thing that everyone goes to on Tuesdays. It's called $2 Tuesdays. And it was the first one of the year. Like we had all just moved back down. It was the week before school started. It's called Welcome Week. And this was our senior year. And me and my friend had met each other when we were in high school, but we never really met each other for real and started becoming friends until freshman year of college. Just she was my best friend throughout like all 3 years of college, one of my closest friends. And that night, she was a year younger than me, so she wasn't 21 yet. I was 21 at the time. Me and two other friends had gone to the $2 Tuesday thing. She was at another friend's house, and they were all just like kind of pre-gaming to go out later, but Avery was just going to do something else. But basically, Avery ended up getting, I just said her name. She ended up getting just like more drunk than she intended, and she was supposed to leave and come to my house, and I was supposed to go pick her up. But since I was drunk, I was like, I'll walk to you, because we were only like 10-minute walk away from each other. But by the time I said that, her friend was like, no, I will just drive her over to you. But Avery was still thinking that I was coming to walk and get her, so she was being reluctant to go with her friend, although me and her friend had already worked this whole thing out that she was going to get dropped off at my house. But she didn't have her phone, her keys, or anything, so she didn't want to leave because she couldn't find them. And then she ended up getting in the car, but was convinced that our other friend was taking her to the wrong house, because I had just moved to a different house this year, and she'd only been there like once or twice. So she was like unfamiliar with the area I was in. And so she got out of the car without any of her stuff, like a block away from my house by this gas station. And then I was on the phone with the friend that let her out of the car, basically, not thinking anything of it because she was being aggressive and they were both very drunk. So she was like, she'll make it to Lawrence. She's literally right down the street. But like, I was waiting out on my porch for her and she never showed up. So I was just like, what the fuck? Like, where's my friend? And then my sober friend, my roommate at the time, came home and I was like, yo, I don't know where my friend is. We need to go look for her. Like, I'm scared. Like, she doesn't have any of her stuff on her, you know? So then we drive around. We don't see her at all. We drive around where she lives, which is like 10 minutes walk away from me. Drive around my neighborhood, don't see her. Drive around where she came from, wasn't there. And so then I was intoxicated too. So then I call my other best friend. So it was me, my best friend that was missing at the time, and my other best friend, who were like a trio. My other part of the trio was in Florida. So I FaceTime her while I'm drunk, and I'm like, yo, I don't know where our friend is. Like, I don't know what to do because she doesn't have her phone on her. No one knows where she is. She could be with maybe one of her friends, like, you know, that she ran into, or maybe someone else she knew in the area. Like, no one knew. So then basically I ended up just going to sleep that night, and I was like, I don't know what to do. There's no way I can track this girl. I don't know where she is. And I was feeling ill about it, but like, really, truly, there was nothing that I could do. And everyone was like, she's okay. Like, she's probably just with like her kind of man at the time's friends or something along the lines of that. But then the next day we woke up, still heard nothing from her, which was rare because she was always the type to wake up early and text us that like she was up or whatever, send us something funny from the night before, like just some humorous shit, like she was funny. And we just didn't hear from her, and we were like, this is just so fucking weird. So then me and my friend were like, okay, we need to like call our other friend, the roommate that let her out of the car. And we do, and then we call the police. She's not in the hospital, she's not anywhere. And so then we're just like, this is so messed up. And then like all of a sudden I'm on the phone with my best friend, and she was on the phone with our friend's stepmom at the time, and the police had came to their door and said that they had found their daughter dead. And then we just started flipping out, and we're like, how and what and where, and like, how did any of this happen? And basically we didn't even find out that like the person that did this to her wasn't arrested for like 2 months later. This guy that just like murdered our friend was just out there, and we had like no idea what had happened, really, truly. And then we had to wait like an entire year until like this past June to even go to trials for it and everything. And we still never even got full closure because he didn't have to go up on the stand, because he didn't have to like choose to incriminate himself.
So you don't even know. You don't even know what happened. You're like, who is this guy? How they like she was just walking drunk along the streets, and this guy just randomly from the streets like kidnapped her?
Yeah. That's like in a nutshell basically what happened. I mean, the trials pieced it more together for us and gave us like an idea of the timeline. Like, we saw footage of her in her parking garage, like alone. She was talking to some people, but I think the conclusion of her like being in the parking garage and not being able to get up to her apartment was because she didn't have her keys. And like, when you have an elevator in the parking garage, like, you can't go up to a floor unless you have the fob. She never had her fob. So there's footage of her in the elevator, like trying to go up and down, but it won't let her out on her floor. And then there's like footage of her going in and out of the garage, like trying to talk to people. But like,
is there footage of her and this guy?
Yeah.
How did she meet this guy?
There's no footage of her actually meeting him. It's hearsay of like what he said, how they met, which was they met like 5 blocks away from my house, which was legitimately on campus at this university. So that just shows you everything about safety at colleges. He was just lurking at 2 to 5 a.m. on a random Tuesday night, like nobody's business. And he said that night he was looking to get drunk and fuck some bitches. So then he picks up my friend while she's overly intoxicated, alone, and drunk. And the technical cause of her death was fentanyl. So what we won't like ever know is, because the autopsy doesn't reveal how the fentanyl was ingested. They didn't find any like points on her skin or anything like that. Like either she took a pill of some sort or like bad drugs, but like or like the thing is like I know she would never do that. So it's like very difficult for me to ever think that would happen. And he also raped her 2 times, 3 times more, maybe. I don't know. But
Jesus.
Yeah, it's just like I don't ever think that she would willingly do that. But like people originally when this happened, people thought that like she did this to herself. Like they thought that she took bad drugs and killed herself. But I knew that was never true the whole time.
I'm sorry to hear about all this. This is a wild thing, especially, you know, being, you know, in contact with her the night that it all happened.
Yeah, and I mean, the hardest part is definitely the guilt of, like, wishing I wouldn't have never went to sleep and just, like, looked for her more and, like, went in the parking garage. It's just, like, it was the first, we had moved down there. We had hung out that day. Like, we went to the grocery store together. We went to the gym. We were like, yeah, like, let's get ready, like, this year. And then we were like, we're going out later. And then, like, we literally were at the gym and then we hugged and we were like, see you later, like, because she was going to come over that night anyways. And so it's just crazy that, like, we were texting and it was like it was midnight and I was talking to her and then, like, I could tell she was drunk, but then I thought I was going to see her later and then I just woke up to that the next day. And I mean, even the crazier part is that the other person that's in the trio of our best friends, like, her best friend was murdered like 4 months prior to this. So this was like the second time that my other friend was going through this, and like she genuinely was in like disbelief when she called me. She was just like, I can't even like process this. You know,
your friend's friend had another friend get murdered 4 months before this?
Yeah.
At the same school?
No, he didn't go to college with us. It was a friend from home.
How long ago did all this stuff happen?
This was all in the year 2022.
So it's still pretty new.
Yeah, it was a 2-year death mark of our friend, a male friend that we had that passed away just a week or 2 ago.
Man. So the things that you're talking about not getting closure on are really just like what exactly happened?
Right. I'm like, were they doing cocaine? Like I just want to know, you know. It's like, and then we obviously, like, me and my other best friend are like freaking detectives because the police weren't doing as they should. They treated the whole case like an overdose when they found my friend, not like a murder. They didn't fingerprint anything. There was like cut straws. There was definitely probably drugs present, but like they said there wasn't. I mean, they see, and the guy that did this, keep in mind, was 35 or 36, and she was 20 years old. So, yeah, and this all happened at a 36-year-old's parents' house, and the parents were the one that called the police, not the guy that did this to my friend. And
so that guy didn't get charged with murder, you said. What? But he's behind bars.
No,
what exactly happened?
He got charged with rape and for distributing alcohol to a minor.
That's fucking crazy.
Because he admitted to supplying her with weed and alcohol, but her system says fentanyl.
And who are you with?
This is my boyfriend. Sorry.
Oh, what's up, man?
Love you.
Oh, thanks, man.
He was like, you have to go on here. He was like, this is, yeah. It's a lot of crazy shit. Honestly, I want to expose the state because fuck Indiana. Indiana's laws are the reason that this motherfucker's not gone for murder right now.
I will say a few people. I've checked out the chat a couple times while we've been talking, and there have been a couple people who deduced that it was Indiana.
Damn.
Somebody in the chat, and I don't know if this is true, but I actually might be making this up because I just kind of glanced at it, but somebody in the chat said that like Indiana, like Indiana University, that like shit like this happens a lot. Is that true?
Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's not surprising. The culture that's breeded at Indiana University is the most toxic and just messed up like culture of kids dying underage.
And so you've graduated.
Like, there's way too many deaths there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What are you doing now?
I live like near Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess I have a bunch of questions. I mean, how often do you think about this? I mean, it's only been 2 years. It's not like this is something that is heavily in the past. But like, how often do you think about it? How often does it like persist in your brain?
Oh man, I mean, recently I've had an easier time with it. I don't really know why, but I feel like the weight of it is finally getting a little easier just because I'm in my faith, just trying to stay positive and like live a normal-ish life after all this, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, before, like over the last summer after I graduated in May 2023, I started working right after it just because I was like, screw it. Like, I want money. Like, I just don't need to sit around and like pretend all this didn't happen, you know? And like, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. Back then, like in June and July, like when I first started working, man, I thought about it so much. Like I couldn't, sometimes during work, I would just have to like get up and go to the bathroom just to like sob a little bit. But I mean, it's way better than that now. Just after the trials was a lot in leading up to that because I had to be on the stand a couple times. Didn't want them to like grill me about stuff, you know, like why I wasn't trying to help more. Like they were, because basically the other side of the case, the defense of the criminal was trying to say like Avery did this often and like this was a part of her behavior to like be reckless and drunk and all this. And I like, it was just hard because they had the evidence of my phone and stuff. Like I thought they would like look through our messages and stuff and kind of like see that, you know, we were partiers at the time, truly. But who isn't, you know? It's like we were in college, everybody was drinking, everyone smoked a little weed, everyone at IU, say it in the chat, everyone at IU does blow. That's the culture.
And
but
how long?
Everyone in the chat.
How long was the trial for?
It was a week.
When did that end? Was that also like around the end of 2022?
Right before 4th of July of 2023. This was like 6 months ago. No, almost a year actually. Like 8 months.
Yeah. Well, you know, like I know you talked about like this feeling of guilt, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to tell you this, but you know, of course your friend getting murdered is not your fault.
Right. But I feel like every single day is like, man. Like I look at a picture of her and I'm like, fuck. Like why did I go to sleep? Like it's just, it goes to show for anybody out there right now listening to this, never leave your friends alone and don't go out with the dead phone, and always keep your stuff on you, you know, and a weapon, and a fucking weapon. If it's a knife or pepper spray or something, like Lord forbid, you know, this stuff happens every single day and you don't understand the depth of it until it's someone that you really love, like someone that you talk to every single day.
How has the process of moving on now that you're out of school and you're working, and it sounds like you're living with your boyfriend? How's the process of you laughed? Are you not living with your boyfriend?
No.
Okay.
We live like it's funny, like we joke we're like medium distance right now. We live like 30 minutes away from each other, but it's way better than how we were when I was at school, so I'm grateful.
You know what, I guess for like a little second I lived in a universe where, of course, why would her boyfriend just be over? They have to live together. I don't know why. That was the universe I lived in for a second.
Pressure over living together. Why does everyone gotta live together and get married and have kids? Like, I'm young. We vibing.
Vibing's good. Vibing is a relationship status. I would put that on your Facebook. How's the process of? Okay, so you're vibing. That's what I was gonna ask you. Is how's vibing? How's the process of vibing? How's today?
Yeah,
how's last week?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's been a lot. Like I said, the past couple of weeks been a lot just better. I don't know. I've been more positive and just, I don't know, not getting over it. But
she's always positive. Gecko. I've seen nothing since before from after. She's changed so much, but in the greatest way possible. It's shocking to me. She's always positive, which is crazy.
I like this guy. He's a cool guy. What is he? Am I on the? Is he on the speakerphone?
Yeah.
Can I talk to him real quick?
Yeah.
What's up, Gecko?
What's your deal, man?
My deal is her deal. I just told her to call because I got the notification that you're streaming, and I just found you a couple months ago, and I've been watching you nonstop. So I was like, well, I don't have shit to tell, but he does. So I'm just glad she called you. You picked up.
We were cracking up right before you called because like my texts were so dry, and I was like, he's not gonna know what I'm saying.
Well, so okay, so you guys aren't living together, but you're vibing. That's good. And you got what's your job now?
I'm in marketing. Yeah, I graduated from the business school.
Corporate girl.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying I guess I'm curious because the way that you kind of opened the call, I know that you a lot of what you seemed to be dealing with right now, is in relation to this, but it seemed like you were in some sort of an overall encompassing malaise of some kind. Is that true, or am I making that up?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like all of this just really made me so eye-open to like how, I mean, this honestly is going to sound so corny, but there's that Kanye video where he's like, I asked God to deliver me from pain and he took my mom. And it's like, in a way, that's like how this feels. Like it's hard to have anything that could ever really hurt that much. And it's like, it's kind of made me so, like, not even in a bad way, like not numb, but just like, it made me realize how little so much means and like how much someone means,
Ask God to deliver me from pain, so he took my mom, as in like, you want me to deliver you from pain? Here's the most painful thing. Now,
right?
There's no more pain in comparison.
Right. It's like, yeah. It's not even, and obviously like I live in fear of just like, even my little brother, like he still goes to IU. So it definitely like, I still have a lot of like worry with that just cause I'm like, the culture there, like I said, is very like toxic. So I'm like, that definitely still stresses me out. But I'm like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, I'm like, at the end of the day, it's like all these things are just things that I can't control. And I'm going to kill myself worrying about all of it when I, try to chill out for some time. But yeah, I haven't really been going to therapy much when I probably should be. But I don't know. I just feel like if I was going on like a consistent basis, it would make it like weirder. It would make it harder for me to open up about it authentically. Because I feel like when he just told me to like come on here, I was like, screw it, I'll talk about it right now. Because like I definitely like feel the love for my friend enough to talk about her every single day to anybody. But at the same time, it's like to a therapist and like paying someone, and like I don't know, that to me is touchy. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I guess you don't want it to seem like you're like rehearsing it or something like that, or is that kind of what you mean?
Right. I mean, it's genuinely like I've talked about it so much, and like just even with, you know, like obviously you can imagine my best friend's text and I our texts every day are very like we talk about our friends that we lost quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And it's like I get a lot of just release, like just talking to them about her and like, you know, looking at old videos, stuff like that, and like obviously just like having my boyfriend and my family and stuff, like they all understand everything that, and it's also kind of crazy too because my little brother was also very good friends with this girl, so like sometimes we talk about her and it like hits a different part, you know.
I was gonna ask her, how's your relationship with so it was a trio. It was you, your friend Avery, and this other girl. Who's this other girl? Are you still friends with her?
Oh, yeah, she's my bestie. Day one. So we talk, every day. We hang out quite a lot. We go to church together. We're very encouraging, I would say. We both have, like, opposite work schedules right now. So, like, she's on midnights, and I have a regular 9 to 5. So she's always, like, up when I'm not up, and I'm always asleep when she's up, and yeah.
Oh, is she like a nurse or something?
Yeah, she's going to PA school, so she's got to get those patient care hours in at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, super encouraging, and like she was the friend that also lost someone else very close to her too. So like it's super weird. It's like, you know, she lost her best friend, and then like, I mean, not to say that like we weren't all best friends, but like Avery, I had known her like quite a long time and stuff, like since high school, and just like to have her kind of like help me through that, you know, because I couldn't imagine like what she was feeling like back then when like I was with her at the funeral and stuff, because I wasn't as close with that person. So I was just like, I could never imagine what she feels like right now, and then I literally had to go through it. I'm like, damn, you know, some things maybe really do happen for a reason, you know.
Mm-hmm. What are you excited about for the future?
I'm definitely excited about the business I'm going to start in honor of her. Because
what's the business?
Yeah, so I think I'm just going to do some digital marketing like what I do as a career now for a brand. I'm just going to do more agency type of work and try to work for some cool brands, because it was funny when Avery and I were juniors, we were actually going to intern at this for a marketing company or a tequila company. We were going to be in the marketing department together, but then she ended up like needing to stay home that like summer because she had just been abroad. So her dad didn't want her to like live in Chicago and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so I was just like, she was a super creative person, and like she was into digital and social media just like me, so we're very similar in that way, and I just thought it'd be fitting to have a company, you know, named after her, and then we'll always have something with her around, you know.
Are you gonna name your agency after her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
And then I'm gonna try to incorporate some philanthropy into it as well, with just trying to give back to anyone with mental health and the opioid addiction and the crisis going on in this country right now. It's just really personal with all of that. I mean, if all these drugs weren't as accessible and weren't as, you know, accepted in our culture and all that, like, I just feel like this wouldn't have happened to her. Like, I mean, I've never heard of someone just like killing someone with fentanyl until this like happened, and then I just realized like, wow, this like actually happens to people every day. And it's really sad that like the number one leading killer of people 18 to 30 is fentanyl.
Really? That's the number one?
Yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure it's like car wrecks and fentanyl is like in the top 5 now. The number 1 and 2,
I thought it was suicide.
Maybe that is too. Honestly, I'm not sure, but I saw.
What did he say?
He said, "Can't forget that big one."
Yeah, I was about to be like, this is a fun little conversation.
Yeah, no, I don't know what it is, but I swore I saw a statistic that top three fentanyl for sure.
We'll just settle at top three.
Top three sounds accurate.
Yeah, it's just really sad, and it's also crazy because like the guy, me and my best friend, like we would stalk the guy that did this and like his family and just like see the things that they would post, and like leading up to what he did to my friend, he would like post about like drugging and raping and like taking money from white women and stuff, and like how white women were so gullible and like and I was just like, that's so disgusting. And then you'd go to his mom's Facebook profile and she literally would say, my sons are addicted to fentanyl, but they couldn't put one and two and two together to pin the fentanyl on him.
I was about to say, like, were those Facebook posts not were they like brought into the trial?
The trial was at that point had nothing to do with the fentanyl, basically. The trials was all to do with like the rape and whether or not alcohol contributed to her death.
So there was no like if the guy just goes on Facebook and admits to that, there was no like that didn't like trigger anything.
Yeah, they want to do it as they don't want to do more than they have to do.
Yeah, they were like, the murder isn't going to get in. The murder for like basically selling someone or giving someone a drug and it kills them in Indiana is like 5 to 7 years in prison.
Oh, okay. So that's a technicality in Indiana.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
That like rape, getting him on like the rape and the distribution of alcohol to a minor. And he also, while he was in jail, he also used a different inmate's PIN and tried coercing the person that he called at 5 a.m. when Avery was quote unquote still alive to lie for him on the stand. And they had recordings and transcripts of it all, and we got to listen to it all in court. So he also got charged for that.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
What's his mom post? Do you still look at like his family's Facebook posts?
Yeah, sometimes. We haven't really looked recently. I should honestly
look a lot.
Yeah.
It's probably I don't know. I'm not a. It's probably for the best to not look at it. I think.
No, right? It's like honestly, it's like with all this, it's like as much as I love her, it's like this is how it was for like a whole year when we didn't know anything about what happened. It's like we were constantly looking and like searching, and so then it's like after the trials and stuff, it was just really good to like be able to just kind of have some peace with all of it and like not really care, because I knew he was going to probably be back there for life. Plus, when he got arrested and his prints went in the system, it actually came up and matched another girl's rape kit from a year before.
Jesus.
And so now he's getting tried for that one too. So now he might be, and it's the same judge, so she's definitely gonna like back to back the sentences, and then like he'll probably be in there for life.
That's fucking crazy.
Right. Yeah. It makes me sick. It makes me so sick that, and one time I was actually recently, I don't want to say this girl's name, but shout out to my one friend that lives in Hyde Park. She told me that if it gives me any closure, this happening to Avery might have been for that girl, to have her closure with it, because they would have never found him, and she probably never would have got justice if this didn't happen. Like Avery had to be the reason for all this to stop, because who knows how many girls there were before.
And in the future.
And in the future,
Man.
right.
And this guy, he just like openly admitted to it on Facebook?
Yeah, but no.
kind of tiptoed.
Yeah, he tiptoed around it. He was just like, I didn't kill, like, I don't even know. The way he responded to it all just, like, made him look so guilty. Like,
he was kind of just shit posting.
Yeah, he was like, I didn't do shit. Like, I never even knew this bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, had this attitude that, like, he didn't know what happened to her. And I'm like, she was alone and without any phone, wallet. If she didn't have any of that, how the fuck would she have fentanyl? Like, you clearly supplied her with it. Where did it come from? What did you do to her? You know, it's like, I want to know if he, like, did that to her and then raped her and like, you know, like, I just want to know. I just want to know. Like, I'll never know, but I mean, I just pray that she was honestly, I pray that she was, like, out of it when all that was happening, you know, for the best of her.
Well, Amy, wait, Amy was the name I gave you.
Yeah, we got so deep.
You know what? You know what? After all this, if you want to pick a different name, you can pick a different name.
I don't even have a better one.
Big dog.
Yeah, I don't even have a better one. But yeah, I mean, all this definitely some crazy shit, but long living.
Well, I'm glad. Look, man. I'm glad that you're. You seem like you're doing better. You're about to go and do this marketing agency that you're gonna name after her. I think I'm glad. My verdict is I'm glad you're not swarming Facebook with looking at your friends. No, you're not your friend. Looking at this guy's family. You know, it's not like you're. I like that you're doing things that are sort of forward moving. You know, I think that's good.
I think it's important to do that, and to anybody even just struggling with grief too. I mean, the thing that gives you comfort too is that they wouldn't, like, if Avery had my life right now, she would want me to live that shit to the fullest.
Absolutely,
for sure. You know, she was full of life, literally so full of life, and so if I didn't, the days that I don't feel like getting out of bed and, like, doing anything and being sad, I'm like, she would not want this for me at all.
Well, Amy, is there anything else that you or your boyfriend want to talk about or say to the people of the computer before we go?
No, I'm good. Yeah, to everyone out there, hug your friends extra close every day.
Take care, Amy. Thank you for calling and thank you for sharing your story. How did it feel to talk about? Did it feel good to talk about at least?
Oh my gosh, it actually really did. It really did.
Good.
So I
good.
Thank you so much, Gek.
Love you, Gek.
Of course. Have a good night,
call
guys. Yeah, we got to hear what this guy's story is, but that's for another time.
I got stuff.
He's got baggage.
Oh, I'm sure he's got stuff. All right, you guys take care.
Yeah,
All right. See you, Gek.
Hello?
Those are mighty big hands there.
I don't know what you just said, but what's your name?
My name is Ryan.
What's up, Ryan? How can I get you today?
You could get me in the mouth, feeling a little hungry, and just want to talk about food for a little bit.
Oh man, all right. I respect the boldness that you just put on display.
What's your favorite food?
What's my favorite food? Oh man, you want to talk about food? You want to talk about food, Ryan? Ryan, is that what you said your name was?
Yes.
You want to talk about food? Let's fucking talk about food. Okay, here's my thing, Ryan. I'm trying to lose weight because I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm gonna just rant for a second, if you don't mind. You got me going a little crazy.
Yeah, dude.
So I started doing therapy, Gecko, in June of 2020, and in the 4 years that I've done this podcast, I think I gained 40 or 50 pounds or something like that, 40, 50 pounds, because Well, a couple things happened. One thing that happened was, once the podcast started to like be a little bit more successful, I think I thought to myself like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna, put all of my stock into this podcast, and then who gives a shit what my body looks or feels like because I have a successful podcast, That was a terrible decision. But also I just like what I would do. It was 4 years, Ryan. It was 4 years of, okay, sit in this chair 3 times a week and talk to people on the phone for 2 hours. And then how do you think one decompresses after talking to strangers about stuff for 2 hours?
By stress eating.
By stress eating. By first getting extremely high. And then eating an extra, genuinely maybe 4,000 calories every single night. I mean, it was crazy. And then at the beginning of this year, I was like, all right, I gotta stop. This is not cool. So now, Ryan, I have a folder on my notes app. I have one for food and one for fitness. And the fitness one, I track my lifts. And then the food one, I'm trying to eat at a caloric deficit. I put my shit into that calculator. That calculator that tells you how many calories to.
How many you got to burn and how much you got to eat and how long you got to run.
Yeah. So I got my caloric deficit. I've limited myself to 2,000 calories a day, which is is actually a pretty sizable amount of calories, I think.
I think that's like the daily value of that is like for a normal human male.
Yeah, I think that's the daily value for a normal human male. Now I haven't been doing it every single day for the whole year. God no. I've had plenty of. I think I've actually done it like most of the days in the last 2 months, maybe, but I mean, there's been a lot of times I'm going on benders and still, but here's what happens now. I log my benders. So like no matter whether I log everything now. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I was eating like I had this day recently. I was just feeling pretty miserable and I was like I just need some dopamine in my life. And it started as it always does with I'm just gonna say this. I don't care if they want to sponsor this podcast one day. I cannot in good faith promote this company because my least favorite brand of all time is Starbucks. For multiple reasons. I hate Starbucks. I love Dunkin'. If Dunkin' ever wants to be a sponsor of the Therapy Gecko podcast, I got them. But I hate Starbucks. I hate them because I think their coffee tastes shitty, and I think it's the most pretentious brand of all time. They sell a cake pop. They sell a unicorn cake pop. They sell a variety of different cake pops, and it's literally a one single bite of cake, Ryan. And guess how much one single bite of cake cost?
Your soul. Your corporate soul sold to Starbucks.
I'm pretty sure it costs like $4 for this one bite of cake. I hate these cake pops. I eat them all the time. I'm addicted to them. They're delicious. So I had a cake pop, which was the beginning of the end. And then I just was snacking, Ryan. I went to the bodega. I got my favorite fucking neon sour gummy fucking neon worm, the bright sour worms. I love those. I got a cookie from Starbucks. I got Pringles and all this shit. I logged it all, and it was like the fucking 5,000, 6,000 calories. It was crazy. It was just crazy. And I was like, oh shit. Like in 2023 and 2022, I ate like that every fucking day, dude. It was insane.
Wow.
So anyway, so now I have a secret. I'm gonna give free promo right now. Okay, so I gave free anti-promo to Starbucks. I'm gonna give here's my secrets now. One is Factor. Factor sponsors the podcast. Factor's been sick. Another one, Chipotle. Okay, I'm eating Chipotle every single day because I can actually track the fucking macros on there. So I'm just eating that. I'm eating.
Dude, I literally am
bars.
eating Chipotle right now.
Chipotle rocks. Chipotle rocks.
Yeah.
So every day I'm eating Quest bars. I'm eating Muscle Milks. But here's the thing, Ryan. Is I'm counting calories and it's like, I don't know if it's worth it, man. I don't know if it's worth it because sometimes I'm just sitting in my fucking bed or I'm walking down the street and I just don't feel good. I just feel sad and depressed and I'm just like, God, nothing would make me fucking happier in the universe right now than to eat a giant chicken Parmesan sub and French fries and mozzarella sticks and fucking a king-sized Reese's Cup Fast Break. I have, it's just my brain is like, there's nothing that would make me feel better in this universe than to do that right fucking now. And then but every time I do that, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, fuck, I ruined all my progress. I gained back the 1 pound. You can eat a pound if you can eat 3,500 calories. Like if you lose a pound a week and you just decide to go on a crazy bender, you could gain a whole fucking pound back. It just erases your progress. It's so fucked up. I don't know when it's gonna end, I'm going crazy out here because I don't know whether to give in and just be like, all right, fuck it. I'm just gonna be a fat guy. It's fine. I'm sure I can find somebody who loves me like this. We'll figure it out. Or to be like, you know what? No, we're gonna lift. We're gonna do this. We're gonna get back in shape. We're gonna be. But what's the point? What's the point of any of this shit? I don't know. I'm feeling too existential. You know. If you haven't noticed, if you haven't noticed, I'm actually asking you to be the therapy gecko for this call.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I've definitely gone through like the ringer when it comes to food because growing up, I didn't have a lot of food, so it was like eat. And then I got a job in college, working in a restaurant, and that turned into like a survival thing. Like, yeah, so I got diagnosed with the stomach issue and diabetes also, which was major and I track all my shit too. And sometimes I'm staring up at the ceiling at night, like, do these numbers really matter? And they do.
Yeah.
And especially for me because I'm diabetic. And literally, I see a wrong number, and I'm like, oh, shit, I have to eat. But I can't have pizza. I can't have donuts. I have to have low-carb breads and bagels. And I never had a sweet tooth before, but now, donuts, ice cream, I have one, and I'm good. I'm set. And then there are some days where I'll binge eat an entire bag of Fritos just because I can, and then not be able to eat for the next 3 days.
Yeah. Oh God, it's so brutal, Ryan. It's so brutal.
Well, like just looking at that number and realizing how much like food is central to like culture and like society and like economics and even just like your mental state too, and what comes from behind like eating with intention, or when you cook for someone and make them a nice meal, and or you know, like you said, you're eating a chicken parm. That's life right there, man. That's pure bliss. At least what I think.
It is. I've thought about that, man. I'm like, I really was thinking like. It's kind of the simple things in life I'm noticing are the best ones, like.
But it's also so destructive and like so cathartic too.
Yeah, it is. It's very destructive.
Like having to be more intuitive to what I'm eating. I'm like, okay, like it's like I really have to start thinking about it now. You know, I can't eat ultra processed foods anymore, even though I want to. Or like you said, the cake pops are like. What, 2 bites and they're selling for like $5? Like, fuck the ethos in that, man. Like, it's food. It's fucking food.
You know, what was I gonna say? It's here's what I'm doing now. Here's I mean, I'm trying to count and like get under 2,000, but it doesn't always happen every day. And here's where I'm at is I'm just trying to be reasonable now because I was eating unreasonable. I'm like, let's just be reasonable. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go out to dinner and you get a big fucking burrito and you eat it, that's cool. Or like if you just get a chicken parmesan sub and you eat it. Like whatever, that's fine. But like I was doing unreasonable shit. Like eating candy every day is not reasonable. Eating a chicken parmesan sub and then going to the bodega and getting a big bag of Fritos and getting a thing of Doritos. Like you know when you're being unreasonable versus just like eating a meal. And I've thought to myself like, oh, I can actually live my life in a way where I can eat pizza and a donut and ice cream and whatever, but just don't be a dick about it. Don't be a fucking asshole. Don't eat 4 donuts. Don't eat candy every day. Don't eat pizza every day. Don't be a fucking asshole. But you can still live a life where you have it. And I don't know. I've been pretty good this year, but it's only been 2 months. But I am worried. Especially like if I go to I've been thinking about, I think I'm going to take a trip soon. I've been doing a lot of touring and I haven't been international for the sole purpose of just like hanging out as a gecko and filming stuff. So I'm thinking about a few places and I'm like, fuck man, if I end up going to like Thailand or whatever, I'm gonna fucking, I might get back into it. Because I'm gonna go to 7-Eleven. Anytime I go international, I am... Literally, I went to Hawaii to do a show, and my hostel had a 7-Eleven in the literally next door. And I didn't eat there every day. I ate there every 2 hours. I mean, it was crazy. If I go when I go to Europe, I'm eating at the McDonald's. I mean, it's like I don't want to revert back to how I was when it was gaining. When I gained fucking 40 pounds. But it's like, I don't know, I kind of had a lot of fun doing that. I kind of had a lot of fun eating a shit ton of food. But I've also, I'm looking at it with rose-colored glasses because I also had a lot of shit misery of like, oh man, I'm an adult. This is not sustainable way to be as a human being at all. And I'm also, I feel like kind of unattractive and fat and gross, and I'm trying to, be not that, So I don't know. I have marginal amounts of faith in myself, which is good. That's all you need.
I think about looking back at the times where I was working in the restaurant and how destructive it was at those times. And I look back too with rose-colored glasses and think like, wow, like having that intense amount of like dopamine, just based on food, it's a scary tightrope to walk, because I've seen a lot of friends go down really terrible drug routes with that too, and because they were in the kitchen industry, and luckily I stayed away from all that, and it scared the shit out of me. But I look back when I used to go out and I would, eat a bunch of pizza, go home, get stoned, and drink till 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, yeah, that was fun. I'd love to do it every day, but also my body is failing me now. So
yeah,
that's that. And I think it definitely was like a blessing in disguise, because it was like, shit, like you really have to, you have to take care of yourself. And before then I wasn't really like in tune with my body. And now I'm super aware of like, it's like a weird, like X-Men power, like awakened where I could like feel people's vibes or like through their food, if that makes sense. Like I could tell if you put love in your food or not.
Yeah.
Like Starbucks, no love. Fritos, no love. But when I eat them, I still get joy, but there's no love in it. And I think that's what I was looking for too.
You know what else I hate about Starbucks is I hate how popular it is. Why is everyone loves fucking Starbucks? I go to the airport at 6 a.m. You know what's I was at a fucking airport the other day, and I'm walking past all these places that have coffee. There's like a fucking kiosk that sells coffee. There's like 2 people in the line. There's the McDonald's coffee. McDonald's is a little crowded, but there's this like nameless coffee shop here and a nameless coffee shop there. I walked past, I see the Starbucks. The Starbucks has like literally like a half-hour long line. And I'm like, what are all you people fucking doing? Go to the other places. I don't understand. What's so great about Starbucks? It's better than the other places. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me.
One of my favorite things at the airport is to watch the people at the Starbucks. Yeah. Because there's, like you said, there's always a line in a mile and a half. And then literally down the row, like the hallway or whatever it's called, there's like a local coffee shop, and it's like empty. And yeah. I'm from the airport that I'm flying out of. So, and I'm just looking at them, I'm just like, oh, it looks so sad over there. And I bet you their coffee is probably better. Like, I love to go to little cafes everywhere, but it's like, why would you wait in a line like that long for some like half-assed coffee when you could literally just walk up to here, like, get something pretty simple? It'll probably
I got a hot take for you. To me,
all right, give it to me.
To me, all coffee tastes the fucking same. Like coffee, you know when you go, when they're like, oh, this coffee is the beans are from Machu Picchu and blah blah blah, and then like a fucking gas station coffee, all the same to me. Who gives a shit? It all tastes
some of it's all bullshit.
Exactly
anyways.
The same.
It's a lot of people talking out their ass like they know, but then there are some that are like, okay, this is pretty different. Like, I had a coffee with like a mushroom apricot like syrup in it, so they like fermented their own syrup and they added it to coffee, and it's like, why would you put apricots and like mushrooms in a coffee? But like, you could actually taste it. Like, it was weird, man, but I liked it. Pretty good.
That's another thing. I'm just using this as my therapy session, if that's okay with you.
Oh, that's okay.
No, you sounded pretty disappointed. Actually,
no, dude. Like, I think that having a conversation about these sorts of things instead of like someone just like talking at you. Like, I feel like we're talking like together. Like it's an actual conversation. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say it's I think I did like 55 different fucking cities last year, which was like I took at least more than like one flight a week. Like I was on a plane multiple times a week, and the airport, there's nothing to do but just there's this thing at the fucking airport where it's like, okay, I'm about to be trapped in the sky for like 6 hours. Let me stuff my bag with food because I don't know what I'm gonna get. And also, oh my god, it's the weed, dude. That's what I realized was like a big crux of all my eating thing was the weed.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure.
About airports.
Yeah.
I love stealing things at airports because they're so ridiculously overpriced. Like $7 for like a bag of Chex Mix. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I think I would put airports on a. I mean, yeah.
Oh shit! I forgot my headphones.
But like I had a thing where if I didn't have a show that night, I would get crazy stoned any time I would get on the flight. So I'd just be stoned in the airport, going fucking crazy with the fast breaks and the McDonald's and it was just crazy, man. And yeah, it's all overpriced, dude. You ever try to buy beef jerky at the airport?
Ooh, no. That's like what, $12?
$12? You think beef jerky at the airport is $12, buddy? Beef jerky at the airport is like $30.
No shit. Okay, because I'm getting like chips and getting loaded on the plane with like Bloody Marys.
Yeah.
I'm not buying.
No, getting drunk on the
$30
plane
water.
is fun. I'm not a big. I'm not a big. I've decided recently. This is another like kind of calorie county thing. Is that this is another kind of calorie county thing. Is like, I'll I'm not drinking as much, and I'm like, if I'm gonna get drunk, I want it to be like for an occasion. Like if I'm just like out at a bar or whatever, I'm not gonna probably get drunk. But if it's like if there's a good reason to, I'll get drunk. But not so much anymore. I like getting high at the airport because like there's all these like little things at the airport. Like next time, if you're listening to this, next time you're at an airport, look at some of the little shit that they have going on. Like there's like art galleries at some airports. They just are like, here's a local Kentucky artist, and he does these portraits of steel workers. You know, like that kind of shit is in. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like that kind of shit is all over the airport. Nobody ever gives a shit or looks at it because they're on their way to, you know, catch a flight. But like, I like going to there's like art galleries at every airport, not every airport, but they always have like little installations or fountains or shit like that. So it's fun if you have some time. You know, I would get high and I would look at all the stuff. But you don't even here's the crazy thing. You don't even have to get high to look at that stuff. It's just right there for you.
Yeah, in the Las Vegas airport, they have a hallway that is, because it's McCarran and he was a pilot, so they have a whole like aviation section, and they have like a thing, like a giant sculptures that you could climb all over. And I know in the Portland airport they have like a dog petting area for like
that's kind of cute,
anxiety or whatever. But I'm just like, I'm going to pet these dogs before my flight, and I'm really stoned right now.
That's really nice. That actually sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty cool.
And then there are like really not really shitty airports, but like kind of like it's just an airport. Like this whole like city one there, that one was kind of like they had like a Krispy Kreme and like that's it, and a bunch of like Mormon stores. Like book, like what do they call it? Like the bookstores. I guess they'd just be like religious bookstores or whatever. But that was probably the worst airport that I was at, and it's not even bad. Just I've been to better airports.
Man, I really got to say, I'm like sitting here talking to you right now, and you mentioned Krispy Kreme, and I thought to myself, I don't think that there's anything that would make me happier right now than eating 6 Krispy Kreme donuts.
Go dumpster dive Krispy Kremes, because they literally throw out everything at the end of the night, and they're just boxes, like untouched. Great.
Ryan, we got to get out of here before one of us does something crazy.
Okay. Well, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Good talking to you, too. Is there anything else you want to say to the people at the computer before we go?
I would say to love your friends, die laughing, and remember that food is fuel. Food is important. Food is also just sometimes you eat it to take a shit.
You do need it to take a shit. That's the one thing I will say about food.
And some people can't take a shit, so be thankful.
Grateful for your shits. I like that. Thanks for calling, Ryan.
Thank you, Lyle. Bye.